Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Government tabled a $539 billion budget in Parliament this Thursday, committing $404.7 billion to recurrent expenditure and $134.7 billion to development projects. As part of capital expenses, the amount spent on government-funded projects was reduced from $120 billion last year to $109.2 billion this year, reflecting the commitment to containing expenditure.
We have to live within our means, but we have to at the same time maintain our commitments to protecting the most vulnerable, to continuing to repair our infrastructure and establishing the platform for continued growth.
We'll stay the course, but we're keeping in front of us the most vulnerable and the poor. And I know the pain. I feel it every day. All I'm saying is that they were very good last financial year. They stuck with us, and I'm just asking them for a while longer. We don't know what it is going to be, but you know we do not have much fiscal space.
In terms of sector allocation this year, the Finance Ministry, which is responsible for debt servicing and public sector wages, gets the biggest chunk of the budget, $300.1 billion. Education, national security and health also command significant portions. The Standing Finance Committee of Parliament will now review the estimates of expenditure from April 8 to 10, and the Finance Minister will tell the country how it's to be funded when he opens the budget debate on April 17. In the meantime, Minister Phillips spoke with JIS News Thursday, expressing confidence that Jamaica would pass the fourth quarterly test from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF.
We feel very positive. I feel very positive about the results of the quarter. As usual, we'll await the formal review process. We feel the same way for this quarter as we felt for all the previous quarters. So we're pretty confident.
To pass the fourth IMF test, the government has to meet all quantitative or monetary targets, as well as the structural benchmarks for the January to March period. So far, the IMF board has confirmed that Jamaica passed all three tests in June, September, and December 2013. A full review of the January to March 2014 quarter is expected in a few weeks. Thursday also marked the ceremonial opening of the 2014-2015 parliamentary year, kicked off by the Governor-General explaining government's policy agenda for the period. He revealed that government would be relying on the agriculture, mining, ICT, tourism, construction and housing sectors to continue and sustain economic growth in the fiscal year. Crime-fighting measures will continue to maintain the reduction in murder figures seen in the first 3 months of this calendar year.
There's a 12% reduction in murders and a 13% reduction in the overall categories of serious and violent crimes. Police fatal shootings have been reduced by over 50%, reflecting better operational planning and improved community cooperation.
An aggressive legislative agenda will be pushed, including plans to pass the Evidence Amendment, Building and National Disabilities Bills this year. Other key pieces of legislation to be passed include an act to amend the Administrator General's Act, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the Integrity Commission Bill. In other news, government has signed a framework agreement with China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC, for the development of a transshipment hub in the Portland Bight protected area. Transport Works and Housing Minister Dr. Omar Davies says all regulations will be adhered to for the protection of the natural environment.
We treasure the preservation of the environment as much as any other group. And I'm convinced that after all the required studies are carried out, including the environmental impact assessment, that this project will be going ahead.
The proposed Transshipment Hub, which is part of the Logistics Hub initiative, is expected to create 2,000 jobs during the construction phase and 10,000 jobs when the project is fully implemented. In the meantime, China Harbour was also given the green light to determine the feasibility of damming the Bogwalk Gorge to support a water supply and hydroelectric power plant. Czech has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing to carry out the study. The dam, if built, would be able to store in excess of 1.9 billion gallons of water. That compares to the 800 million gallon capacity of the Mona Dam, which is the country's largest water facility.
It could significantly adjust our normal annual concern about water, potable water, for the Kingston metropolitan region. And assuming the technical analysis goes well, it will certainly put that problem to bed for long in the foreseeable future.
And finally, the integration of private and state bus operations in the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region took effect on Tuesday, April 1 to provide a seamless service to the public. One of the most noticeable changes is the color coding of sub-franchised private buses to bear the same yellow color as JUTC buses and have identifying stickers on the back and front windshields.
Any passenger in the KMTR who sees a yellow bus can be assured that that bus is licensed, insured, and operates to the standards expected in this reform going forward.
Drivers and conductors of sub-franchised vehicles are expected to wear uniforms prescribed by the Transport Authority, and the private bus operators will be expected to issue tickets, charge the correct fares, and operate according to their routes. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.